On the eve of an impeachment trial, a live look tonight at the U.S. Capitol, where President Donald J. Trump will go on trial tomorrow morning in the U.S. Senate.
Mr. President! Mr. President!
Well, President Trump gave a thumbs up while leaving the White House tonight. He's now on his way to Switzerland for the World Economic Summit.
The president will be out of the country when his impeachment trial begins tomorrow in the U.S. Senate. KCAL 9's Lori Perez is live in the newsroom with the very latest on the Senate impeachment trial and what we can expect to see tomorrow. Lori?
Well, Sharon and Chris, it is a day that will go down in history as we begin, for only the third time in history, an impeachment trial of an American president. As you can imagine, it has been a working holiday for the impeachment managers and for President Trump's defense team.
Where is the crime?
The president's supporters and Democrats have spent the holiday weekend making the opening arguments before the opening arguments.
Low, medium, or high? Where is the crime? This is not Bill Clinton lying under oath to the grand jury in August of 1998.
We Democrats aim to get the truth.
As the president heads to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, his legal team filed a more than 100-page legal brief today saying the impeachment process was quote-unquote rigged, reasserting their claims the president was denied any right to participate and that Democrats are simply trying to get him out of office. They say Democrats haven't shown he committed any crime.
This is an entirely partisan and therefore illegitimate effort by House Democrats to remove a president from office.
The conduct in question is the basis of the two articles of impeachment facing President Trump. One, abuse of power when he sought help from Ukraine's government in getting reelected by asking Ukraine to investigate rival Joe Biden and his son. The president is alleged to have withheld military aid and offered a White House face-to-face as part of the claims of manipulation. And two, that he obstructed Congress by not allowing White House staff to testify at the first impeachment hearings. But before they get to arguing those points, there will first be a good bit of housekeeping to debate and vote on. Late today, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell released his proposed trial rules, suggesting each side get 2 marathon 12-hour days to make opening statements. It's the same amount of time both sides had in Bill Clinton's impeachment, but in that trial, they each had 4 days to make those arguments. Meanwhile, Democrats need at least 4 GOP senators to vote to include new witnesses and evidence, a seeming long shot.
Are you still open-minded on witnesses?
Well, I am, only within the scope of these 2 articles of impeachment.
If we call one witness, we're going to call all the witnesses.
This whole controversy about whether there should be witnesses is really a question of, does the Senate want to have a fair trial, or are they part of the cover-up of the president?
It's not known how long the trial will last. It will run 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Both sides readily offering a preview of what's in store.
The mere idea of this would have appalled the founders who were worried about exactly that kind of solicitation of foreign interference in an election for a personal benefit, the danger it poses to national security. That goes to the very heart of what the framers intended to be impeachable.
If the allegations are not impeachable, then this trial should result in an acquittal, regardless of whether the conduct is regarded as okay by you or by me.
Now, the trial begins tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. our time. Again, they are prepared to work 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, until its end. Chris, Sharon?
Lori, question here. What is the likelihood that we're going to hear from witnesses in this trial?
Well, you know, I mean, one witness that has come up is former security advisor John Bolton. The likelihood of him testifying or offering as evidence, the president has said he would block that even if it meant that he had to invoke executive privilege to do so. He says it is simply a matter of national security. As for the president himself offering evidence, most experts say that is highly unlikely, more likely that he would have his private attorney and the White House attorney speak on his behalf. But I think we've all learned about the president is that we have to expect the unexpected sometimes with him.
That's so true.
Sharon
all right.
and Chris.
Thanks, Lori.
All right, Lori Perez reporting live in the newsroom. Lori, thank you.